G'day everyone. This is the next part of my trap preparation, and we have waxing. Why do we wax? A couple of things. It protects the metal of the traps from rusting. I am in highly acidic soil down here, and have noticed if the traps are not waxed properly that they rust very quickly when they're in the ground, especially in the colder months when it's pretty wet down here. And also people say that waxing will also help minimize odor of the traps. Not 100% sure on that, but it's always been done. Oh, there's another thing. It helps them when they set, they're a bit smoother. So the wax is kind of like a lubrication for the springs and working parts of the traps. So yeah, that's why we wax. What we got here is I've got the little cooker with a pot of water and another pot inside of that with the wax in it. It's what we call a double boiler. The wax that we use for trapping, paraffin wax, is actually highly flammable if heated to kind of extreme temperatures, and can be very, very dangerous. I imagine it would be like napalm, would stick to you and keep burning, and would be very, very hard to stop that. So doing it this way, it's a bit safer. It doesn't heat the paraffin wax up to those extreme temperatures that it needs to ignite. I got this wax from a modelling supply place down here in Adelaide. Also, I had a block of black trapper's wax from a wild dog trapping course I did at Moorabbie Station middle of last year. So I just chucked that in there as well when the wax that I previously used was starting to get a bit low. So the process is, you know, I've cleaned my traps, I've boiled them, I've dyed them, and now to wax them. Some people dye and wax at the same time because the paraffin wax will actually float on the top of the dye. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I like a nice coat of wax on my traps, and I would think that that process would only leave a really thin coat. And yeah, I've done it this way quite a number of times now, and I'm happy with the results. So I'll just keep doing it this way. I'll try to get a view from here. There we go. So there's the water and there's the wax becoming liquid. There's most probably still a big chunk in the bottom there. So you've got to let it go for quite a while until you've got it up to a pretty good temperature before you start dipping your traps. I'll go through the process when I've got this up to temperature and I'm happy with how it's going. So what I do here, once the wax is all melted, I grab my trap, and I just slowly set her in, and I usually leave them in there for about 30 seconds. That gives the trap enough time, the steel to heat up, and it actually holds the wax better. If you just dip in and pull out, you get a real white crust of wax, where if you do it this way, it has, you know, it clear coats the trap itself. You got to let that trap heat up to the same temperature as the wax. That's the theory of it. Not 100% sure if it works every time. Yeah, so yeah, 30 seconds in there, and then pull it out, and then I just hang it up with the other traps and let her dry off. So once your timer's gone off, I try to grab it by one of the rings and slowly lift her out, letting all the wax drip off. Back in, don't really want to waste any of it. Give it a bit of a shake, and then I bring it outside and just hang her up onto my line. Pretty hard to do with one hand while you're trying to film, and then just let her drip dry. You do get little puddles forming in some spots, but I usually just get a lighter or a little blowtorch and fix them up afterwards, just to get rid of any excess bits and pieces. And as you can see, they are getting a few drips, but I find that this works. I don't have any adverse situations. Already got a few done there, a few hanging there.